This is AI.R. Artists in Residence Broadcasting, coming to you once a week from New York City.
Hello.
Hello, John.
Hello, Emily.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How
I
are
want to
you?
do a post for my blog.
Okay, let's start again. Hello, Emily.
Hello, John.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
What are we going to talk about today, Emily?
Well, I want to do a post for my blog, Am's Talkery.
Yes.
And I want to do a post about someone that you know very well. Not intimately, but you worked with and affected your life, and I think you have probably affected his life.
Right.
His name is Roddy McDowall.
Well, Roddy, certainly we worked together, and I've known and watched him all my life.
He's done some wonderful things.
Yes, well,
Did you know he did Lassie?
Of course I did.
See, I didn't realize it.
When I was before I'd even started first grade, Roddy McDowall, who was only 2 years older than me, was a star, and I was when I was 4 years old.
He has such a gift. He can do so many. He did so many things.
Flicka with Elizabeth Taylor
It was
about the
wonderful.
horse. I remember him telling.
I remember him from Planet of the Apes. Wow.
Well, you know, Roddy. When I was his understudy in Camelot, my first Broadway show.
Was he a help to you?
Well, he was what
He
I
was
had.
Mordred. He was playing Mordred.
Yeah,
right?
and he's a charmer. Everybody loves Roddy, and I was going to say something about. I remember him saying that he loved Lassie, but he hated Flicka. Flicka was a nasty old horse. All 3 or 4 or 5 of them. They had 4 or 5.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and he didn't like the horse, but he loved Lassie.
He's just had an extraordinary career, though, and as you see the detail that he added in all the roles he played. I mean,
Yeah.
many. It's too many roles to mention, but he added detail. He fine-tuned everything that he did.
Well, he was a very, in my feeling is that he was a very underrated actor. Didn't he? Was he in How Green Was My Valley?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
He played some wonderful roles that were very significant roles, and he always helped his fellow actors. They did wonderful work, but Roddy was the one who helped make them into stars, and he never got the credit that he really had. In fact, I can tell you a story. After Camelot,
Right.
when Richard Burton went to play
Anthony in Rome.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Roddy played the Emperor Augustus, and he was wonderful in that particular role, and he was considered the best supporting actor of that year, and they nominated him for an Oscar.
Wow.
But they put, by mistake, the company that produced it made him a leading actor rather than
and of course
supporting actor,
yeah.
and he lost out on
Boy, the
winning an
little
Oscar.
things that are involved in making a career, making yourself very, very, very famous.
But Roddy had many other things that going on. Like, for
He was a
instance,
photographer.
he was a wonderful photographer. And when I came to New York, I remember in the late 50s, when he was already a star, seeing Roddy riding around New York all the time on a motorbike, one of those little motor scooters. And he would hang out at Equity and go up. And he constantly was on the lookout for jobs. He constantly auditioned. And he was an inspiration to me.
Do you think that he knew how successful he was?
Yes, I do. And it didn't, but he was successful on his own terms.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't have to have all those awards.
I love that he was successful.
For instance, there's a thing about Roddy that people probably don't know. He was not just a photographer, but in the late 60s, he would have parties at Malibu, where he lived every weekend, and all the stars congregated at Roddy McDowall's, and he made a lot of silent films of those parties with people like Julie Harris and Roddy Mc.
Anyway, this man did many, many, many things that we aren't really fully aware of. Gee, John, I'm glad that you knew him. I'm glad that we talked about him.
Yes, me too.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see you next week. All right?
This is AI.R. See you next week.